All right, Code Warriors, here we go. We're going to work these out one at a time, so you may have to fast forward to find what you want. Int I equals, I'm going to start at character 1. I is less than str.length. May have to do less than or equal to, we'll see. We're going to print str.substring 0 to character I. And that was quite a lot over there on the side. Yeah, because of the way this is working, we have to go all the way to the end. So now we got howdy. All right, so I'm going to print a blank line. Just so it's nice looking. Part 2, I asked for a while loop that does that. To do that, I'm going to make a variable x equals 44. And I'm going to say while x is less than 51, because I want to go all the way up to 50. And I'm going to system.out.print. Notice it's not with the ln. I do x plus a space. And I say x plus equals 2. That adds 2 to x each time through. And now I'm going to print, two blank lines. One to get off the line with the 50, and another one to give us a blank line in between. There we go. And now this is 2 nested for loops, both going from 1 to 4. So for int I equals 1, I less than 5, that'll give us 1, 2, 3, and 4. Plus plus. And for int j equals 1, j less than 5, j plus plus. And on the system.out.print I plus j, because I told you I'm adding 2 numbers together. This is 1 plus 1, 1 plus 2, 1 plus 3, and so on. And then every time the inner loop ends, I want to print a blank line. That's how we get it to do the columns. Otherwise, it would all just be in a long row. Oh, I forgot. I'm supposed to do a space. So space it out a little bit. All right, there we go. We want another blank line here. I like order. And now we're going to print 10 random integers between 10 and 15 inclusive, all on one line with a space between each number. So first, just make a loop that's going to repeat 10 times. Int I equals 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. Remember, I do less than 10 because starting at 0, it's 10 if you go 0 through 9. And now we're not going to use I. I has nothing to do with this. We're just going to make an integer variable. I already used x up above, so I'm going to say x equals int math.random. Now remember, it's times the range and then plus the starting number. And the range, or 15 minus 10 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So the range is 6. There's 6 possible numbers, and the starting number is 10. And that gives us the numbers. Now we're going to print system.out.print x plus a space. And then when this is over, just for good form, we're going to print a blank line. We're not sitting on the end. So we should get 10 random numbers between 10 and 15 inclusive. And we can see we got 110 and we got 115. So there we go. It's number 1. Now we're doing the high count method. And this returns how many times the occurrence, how many occurrences there are of the word hi in string str. And I have a bunch of tests here, and it's checking one string has 3, one has 2, and one has none, and it prints either pass or fail. So we shouldn't print. If we run right now, we get negative. We get fail on all of them because none of them have negative one of them. So let's start by making a count variable. Let's return count. So we're going to pass one of the tests now, right? Because one of them was looking for 0. But let's now do a for loop. Int I equals 0, I less than str.length. to say -1 because I know I have to, and I'll explain why in a second. And now we're going to say if str substring I, comma I plus 2 dot equals high. Remember, you have to use dot equals when you're comparing strings. Then we say count plus plus. And this is the full program. It passes all the tests. And here's the deal. It has to be I plus 2 so that we get 2 characters at a time. And so the very first time it runs, let's go right here. It takes WH and it says, hey, is that equal to high? No. Then it gets the next 2 characters. HI, is HI equal to HI? Yes, it is. So then we add 1 to count. And the reason we do this -1 is if we didn't do that, it wouldn't actually check the last HI because we're getting 2 characters at a time. No, it would crash. So I'll show you. If we don't do this, it goes a little bit too far. It goes all the way to the end and tries to get this I and then 1 more character. And so, it's because we're going by 2 that we know we have to stop 1 before when we normally would stop. Yeah, that's the right explanation for that. Okay, we're done with number 2. Let's look at number 3. Accepts an integer and then prints a square with that side length and follows patterns of stars and tildes. So I've got some tests, print a 5 and a 4. I think a good way to start this is just to make 2 nested for loops that are going to print a square of tildes. Okay, for int I equals 0, I less than n is the number being sent over, I plus plus. And then for int j equals 0, j less than n. We're doing a square, so we're using. And by the way, some of you I've seen using L for your loop variable, and that's really not a good idea because lowercase l looks a lot like a number 1, and some of you even have typed a number 1 when it should have been an L. So I'd avoid. I know JKL seems logical, but don't do L. Okay, so then in here we're going to print a star. Star, and did I say it was tabs or spaces? I guess just spaces. And then every time the inner loop is done, I'm going to print a blank line. So this will give us 2 boxes of all stars, and now it's actually a pretty simple thing to make some of them be tildes. Let's look at the pattern. The bottom line is each row, this is row 0, and then this is row 1, row 2, row 3. And the same way we've got column 0, column 1, column 2. And the pattern seems to be that even columns, 0, 2, 4, are stars and odd columns are tildes. So down here, we can, and the thing we're checking for even and odd is the j. So we can say if j mod 2 equals 0, if it's even, then we're going to print a star, else we're going to print a tilde. Space. And that'll give us, I put a colon. There you go. I mean, and here's a kicker. What if we changed it to I? Then we'd have it by rows, right? Rows. But anyway, the proper thing is J. But I just thought I'd show you that. Let's do number 4. Create a scanner. Ask the user to enter phrase. Use an if statement to check if the phrase is equal to Liger. If it is, print go Ligers. If it's not, print other. All right. Scanner scan equals new scanner system.in system.out.println. Please enter a phrase. I'm going to spread this out a little so it doesn't wrap funny. And then I'm going to say string phrase equals scan.nextLine. And then if Arrays dot equals Liger. System dot out dot and go Ligers else system out dot println other. How to do it? Maybe I made a mistake, but we'll see. It says other if I enter hamster farm, and if I enter I love Ligers. I forgot. It's not dot equals. It's index of. If the index of Liger is greater than -1, that means there's at least one in there. Good thing I tested it, huh? I love Ligers. Now it works fine. So, no, it has to be equal. I'm so bad. So sorry. Dot equals. And it has to be equals. I was just expanding on the program. So let's if it's exactly Liger, then it says go Ligers. Yeah. And I was testing that you would remember to use dot equals, and that's on the test. So if you're comparing strings, use dot equals. If you're comparing numbers, use 2 equal signs. You can't just think, well, I'm always going to use dot equals, because you're not allowed to use it for just regular numbers. Okay, so these strings get sent over, which contain a variable length month followed by a space and the date. It's right here, month, space, date, comma, space, year. And I'm asking you to fix this method, which just grabs the month out and returns it. So right now it's returning nothing. And here's the deal. If you had a thing, we're just going to search for where is the first space, and we're going to grab everything up to that and return it. So we can just do it on this one line. Return str dot substring 0, comma, and it's str dot index of space. Space is at character 6. It's going to return characters 0 through 5. I think this will do it. We'll see. I've got these tests. Yeah. So you can see from my tests up above here, it's checking if you grab month from this and it equals April, it says pass. Otherwise, it says fail. And if you grab month from here and it gives you September, it says pass. Otherwise, it says fail. I was just, making this fancy, so it said pass or fail. All right. Well, we finished it all, and it wasn't too bad. Anyway, I hope that helped. And don't forget to do the Google form, which I did not work out here. I gave you help on the Google form if you missed problems. Okay. I'll see you on Wednesday. Thanks.